Welcome everyone to another session of our career webinars. My name is Mirta Aguirre. I'm the head of employability and coaching at Virtual Internships. And career webinars is the live event we bring for you to ensure that you are developing the skills you need for your career development. And in our Career Readiness Essential series, we focus precisely on those skills and competencies that will help any and every of you, whatever you are in your career or no matter what career field. These are very interesting topics we bring for you. And today, especially, we are going to discuss the following. Inside the job search, what makes candidates stand out beyond the resume? And this is brought by our amazing speaker, Laura Bidegain. And let's understand what we're going to discuss today. So, ever wonder what really happens between your application and the offer you're waiting for? That moment, right? We applied and then we are waiting. Today, we will look at this from the perspective of a career service professional who works with hundreds of candidates every day and sits at the intersection of job seekers and employers. In this session, you'll see what usually is not visible. We will understand the real patterns behind hiring decisions, the most common mistakes candidates make, and what consistently sets successful candidates apart. You'll walk away with a clearer map of the process and concrete actions you can apply immediately to improve your results. I think this is very important because that moment, right, is like sometimes can be quite, well, it creates a lot of anxiety, right? So I am sure that today is going to be very useful. And let's see who Laura is. Laura is a career development educator and coach dedicated to helping people uncover their value, explore career possibilities, and develop the skills and resources needed to pursue meaningful work. She brings a versatile experience in career design in higher education settings and global career transitions. She's passionate about empowering individuals to navigate their professional journeys with curiosity and intention. And that I know because she works with us. She's an amazing coach. And I am very happy to welcome Laura. So thank you, Laura, for being here with us today. And the room is all yours.
Okay. Hello there. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you took some time out of your day to learn something new. Hopefully, you will walk away with some ideas. So yes, I'm Laura. Let me move this so I can just keep. Okay. So yeah, I'm a career educator. When people ask me, what do you do? Who are you? What's your thing? I'm a career educator. I'm a career coach, mentor. I'm a career services professional. Also, I work in the university setting, and you might have one of those career centers at the uni if you're pursuing higher education. So yeah, one of my roles is to work with employers, and so I talk to recruiters, I talk to employers, I also talk to students, both undergrad, graduate students. I also, yeah, so I kind of hear, the two sides of the story. And so today I'm going to share a little bit about what I see and how I can bring you together, and some patterns that I see all the time. So yeah, I know you probably follow lots of influencers on different social media. You know a lot about, the market nowadays. It's tough. So one thing I would like to invite you to do is to empathize with the other side. They are not, they are just trying to do their job. recruiters, as I always say, are people with problems and they need solutions. That means they need talent. They are assigned searches, and they have to go and find the right candidate. Um, so we have to help them. They have to help. We have to help them see us as good, as the best candidates. Another thing I hear from my colleagues is they don't have time. When they get an assignment, to find talent, they need it for yesterday. So they are always, there's always time constraints. So we have to keep that in mind. And in order to find the right candidate, and in order to see you as a good candidate, they need you to provide evidence that you are the best candidate for the job. So we will be talking about this today. Recruiters who want you to succeed, they want to find you as the candidate and move on to the next assignment. So they are your friends. They are on your side. So today I'm going to invite you to, just to see a little bit behind the scenes, and then we'll be talking about, some mistakes that sometimes we make and what successful candidates do. So maybe we can get inspired to do the same. So yeah, we've all heard about the ATS filter, right? That's these days most recruiters will use an ATS filter, and we have to make sure that we know how to work with it. I was at a job fair last week, and one of the recruiters mentioned that they got 1,000 applications for a job, and he said, "There's no way I'm gonna read 1,000 resumes, right?" So the ATS will do the filter, and we probably miss some good candidates who are not including the keywords in their application, who are not aligning, what they bring to the table to what we need as a company. So we have, important to know, because it's we hear about this all the time on social media and on different resources, but here was a human being telling me, yeah, we get 1,000 resumes. So I thought that was interesting. So keywords matter, and they matter more than you think. Once you get past that ATS filter, you might get into, a human being's hands. And it is true that they, maybe it's not 6 seconds, maybe it's 10, but they are just going to scan it very rapidly. And if they don't find what they are looking for, they are not going to move on to the next candidate. So yes, we have to have the right words there. At that point, they are not reading the whole story. They are just scanning for those right words. And then if we are, successful and we move on to the hiring manager is going to be asking, can I see this person? Do I imagine this person working, in my team, adding value, working well with others, doing, what they have to do if I hire them. So they are looking for soft skills. I cannot tell you enough. I was asking several recruiters last week about what they look for when they look for talent. It's all about the soft skills, power skills, whatever, human skills. I don't know. There's many ways to refer to them. Everything else can be taught. So it's great if you have, tech skills and the hard skills, but don't underestimate those human skills that are becoming even more important these days. So, well, I wanted to talk to this is just like a small exercise. 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how long people will take to take a look at your CV. So I think it's not a lot of time. So, well, the most common mistakes that I see from my, my hat as a higher education professional, when I see candidates applying for jobs, and also when I wear my coach hat, I also see this. Um, well, and I sometimes I use the word resume, sometimes I use the word CV. It just, to me, it refers to the same thing, right? Presence is not just your resume and your application, right? Like recruiters are gonna check you out on LinkedIn. They are gonna click on that. Hopefully, they are gonna find your on your CV. They're gonna find a link to your LinkedIn profile, and they're gonna go click on it. So if they don't find a photo, if they find a generic headline, the default like student ad or role at this company, if they don't find an about section with some like a story about who you are, what you do or want to do, and why they should care about it, they are not gonna, that's what they're gonna find, and that speaks of you, right? So a nice exercise for you, right away or later today, just go and visit your LinkedIn profile. Like, would you be curious to call you to an interview? If put yourself in that recruiter's shoes, what do you find when you visit your profile? Um, then LinkedIn, since we are talking about LinkedIn, it's important to know who we want to reach out to, who do we want to be seen by, who's our audience. We, of course, there's only one possible LinkedIn profile for each one of us, but there's ways to, just to keep that audience, that target audience in mind and speak to that. What vocabulary are we using? What keywords are we using? What are we what are we sharing about ourselves? So keep the audience in mind. And then, Mirta just mentioned about the importance of showing who we are beyond that profile. And so posting and sharing content is a way to walk our talk. So if we say we are good at something, or we are interested in something, we are heading towards a specific career path, we have to show it, and we have to show ourselves in action. So posting is important. Posting is a sort of portfolio about what we do. Right. We encourage you not to post with AI. It shows. It shows. We know. The recruiters know, and the employers know. So show your personality. Maybe you can ideate with the AI, but then speak from your from yourself. So these are some tips there. Well, here are some other mistakes. So first, like I said, we're going to talk about the mistakes. Then we are going to talk about how to do it right. Focus. We are all over the place. We are nowhere. When we think about our CV, our resume, we know that we have to align every application, if possible, to the need, to the pain point. The employers will see if you have a focus, and will see if you don't. And so, and everybody wants to feel that you really want to work with them. Sometimes we just want to get that job, and so we are just throwing out applications all over the place. But less is more. So just maybe focusing on some applications and doing it with more focus might be more impactful. This is I keep seeing resumes with focusing on tasks. Recruiters don't want to see, they know what each role implies. They know. So if you are a community manager, they know. They don't want you to list just to share a list of job descriptions about a job. They want to see not just the what you did, but also the how you did it, and what was so special about you doing it, about you doing that, and the impact. That's what they want. They so what happened as a result of you being there doing that. So that is important. I keep seeing, a task field resume, all the time. So this is important. Um, well, the easy apply trap. I think I talked about that. Um, if you are applying, doing easy apply all over the place, think that many other people are doing it. So the odds of getting, a job through easy apply are small. They exist, but they are small. So don't do just that. Do that, but not just that. um, Employers want to feel that you really want to work with them. So you would think, oh yeah, that's obvious. But they tell me that many candidates come to the interview not knowing much about the company, not having done the research, not knowing about what's going on these days with the company. It doesn't take too long. They are not expecting you to be an expert. They are not expecting you to know everything, but they expect you to have done a little bit of research before you come to the interview, and ideally with some questions about the company. um, the other mistake that some candidates do is this self-elimination, like not thinking that they don't have everything that they need to apply. The typical, oh yeah, when I finish that course, I'm gonna apply, or when I get this certification, I'm gonna apply, or my Spanish is intermediate and not advanced, or just there's lots of examples. I could keep going on and on about this.
Can
if
I
you
add
if you
something?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Hmm.
no, continue.
Yeah. No, go ahead, I love
Because I was
questions.
thinking about the easy apply trap, right?
Hmm.
If we're not careful when we apply on LinkedIn, we may use a general CV resume that we have already we uploaded once on LinkedIn, and that's the one we're using. And that's where the problem comes, because as you mentioned before, we need to make sure that we are applying to each specific job search. We need to do the job, as you mentioned before, of including keywords that match the job description. And when we don't have, right, a CV, resume, we use these words interchangeably, then the easy apply is it's a super easy way to waste an opportunity, because everyone is sending a general CV. So recruiters will say, like, this doesn't even speak to what I'm looking for, right? So we need to make sure that if we are using the easy apply option, we're using it smartly, meaning, okay, I am adapting my CV to this specific role, because sometimes we leave one CV there and we use it for every job. And that's the guaranteed way of not ever being called to a
Mhm.
job interview, right? Um,
Mhm.
and also, one thing that I think is super important is to uh, even if we have experience that at the beginning may not fit exactly the job we are applying to, we need to understand how we can tweak and adapt this experience to a job, right? Because, for instance, I have lots of teaching experience, and maybe for project management, some management role, someone would say, well, but I'm not sure. Or let's say that I want to apply for event organization job, right? And I may think, well, but teaching is not really about that. But then I
Mhm.
can change the way I share my job experience, right? And I can focus on all the times where I organized special classes, where I organized a humanities fair, right? And I changed the description of this same job experience in a way that matches the job I'm looking for. Because sometimes we think, oh, but I don't have a related experience in that specific area, right? And then we need to make these adjustments considering the skills we have to the skills they're looking for, right? And I think that oftentimes we don't do this job, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's showing evidence. If you have done it in a teaching setting, chances are you're going to be doing it as a project manager in a corporation, right? So yeah, definitely. Yeah, and also you made me think, the easy apply is also a trap because we apply to 100 jobs and we don't get any replies, and then we get frustrated. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my CV? There's nothing wrong. You're just applying to jobs that maybe you shouldn't because they are not very aligned, or you're not telling the story that um, that connects to the pain point that that person on the other side has. So yeah, good. Thank you, Mirta. Um, so well, like a kind of connects with this, sending applications into the void, waiting. When you apply, but don't just apply. Try to find other ways to reach out to that company, to that employer. Um, Show up on LinkedIn, ask for advice. Don't just do the waiting game. Just I just applied. Now I'm gonna wait until I'm called. Um, well, ignoring the network. There's alumni at your universities, people who would love to hear, from a young person or not so young person or person doing a career pivot, or just curious about the next career step. No, reaching out, asking a question. There's career services, career centers that whose reason for being at a university is just helping you find a job and many other things, but that's one of them. So reach out to them. Those are resources that are available to you. Here at Virtual Internships, you have 2 coaching calls waiting to happen. You can choose not to have them, but they are there for you. So what do you have to lose? Half an hour, I can guarantee that you're going to get at least one idea. So if you show up, but you have to show up. You never know who's going to help you. Reach out, get that next job. And yeah, when I say your crowds, like your crowd is the people who might help you find that opportunity. When you reach out to people, there for a while, I don't know if it's so common anymore, but just the coffee chat. Let's go for the virtual coffee chat. People don't have time. If I had virtual coffee 1 hour virtual coffee chats with everybody who wanted to, I wouldn't have enough time. So maybe instead of inviting someone to an hour coffee chat, just reach out and ask 1 or 2 questions, like specific questions, like how that would help you figure something out. I would be, if someone asks me, like, hello, Laura, you don't know me, but I follow you on LinkedIn, or I think that you could help me with this. Like, I have a question, and a specific question. Chances are I would answer because it would make my life easier, and so I would probably, I would reply. So yeah.
I have a question from the audience. Someone
Yes.
is saying, is it good? Is it a recommendation to contact, or is it okay to contact the recruiter after we applied for the job?
Yeah, well, there's no right or wrong answer. Every person is different. Some recruiters share their information. Some job posts have the contact information, the contact person. So if you want to reach out, you reach out. I would say, you have nothing to lose. I would try to go through email, because it's not because many people write through LinkedIn, and so you might not get a reply, not because the person doesn't want to, but because they are overwhelmed with messages. I would try to be a little creative with the message I send. Just something out of the box. I would think that most people would say, "I applied to the job. I am forwarding also my resume. I'm very interested in the position." Try to think. Now, what else could you say that would make that person think, "Oh, this is a different candidate. No, this is not the typical message that I get." So yeah, but you have nothing to lose. I would also reach out to people who work in the company, and I would also reach out to alumni who work in that company. Yeah. Well, this is something another recruiter told me last week. Being prepared or to answer the question, tell me about yourself. And this person in particular was saying, how many people come to the interview, and when we ask them this question, because chances are they are going to ask you this question. He said, most people go, they start talking about the internship, the major they are pursuing, the study abroad experience. He said, "I want you to tell me about yourself, not about your role, not about, yeah, of course you're going to talk about, you might talk about an internship, but just mention it. Don't just, you're not selling your internship or your major, or you're selling what your experience, who you are in that setting. So don't just, it's tell me about yourself. And also prepare for it, because most people think that they have the "tell me about yourself" answer in their head. "Oh yeah, I know, of course." And then they show up there and they don't know how to start, what to say, how long it should go, for how long it should go, etc. So yeah, practice. To follow up or not to follow up, always follow up. Not many people do it. So you apply, you apply for a job. Yes, reach out to the recruiter. You had an interview. Yes, reach out afterwards and mention something that you liked about the interview, or something that was insightful, or something that you forgot to say. Great opportunity to, just to bring up something that you didn't have time to mention. And following up 2 weeks later, always show interest. Of course, everything in moderation. You are not gonna just do check-ins every 2 days, but you will know. So then, expecting everything to run smoothly. Employers have lots they are doing multiple searches at the job. They have multiple job processes at the same time. So if you apply, you think that they're going to follow up in a very, very neat and tidy manner, and then decide and inform you. It's not going to happen like that. It's messier. So just follow up and check back, and do your part too. this is something I hear all the time from students and people. No, they didn't reach out to me, so I'm assuming that no, I didn't. No, I wasn't selected. Well, sometimes things processes are delayed. People are busy. People have other priorities, and and life happens. So yeah, follow up and don't just assume that you were not selected. Um, yeah, and then well, practice for interviews. Think practice, do your have your stories ready, show evidence, think about your transferable skills if you don't have a very aligned experience, but practice, because so then when you go there, you are ready. Okay, so now we are going to talk about what makes candidates successful, because not necessarily you have to be the smartest person on the room in the room, but and you might get the job. So let's talk about that. I'm going to ask you, okay, if you think of your people people at uni, your classmates, when you think about what are some traits or characteristics of someone that you think, oh, that person is going to get the job, is going to get a job right away, or no? What characteristics do you think that classmates of yours has that makes him or her successful?
Someone wrote what I was sharing, confidence, right? This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence without being arrogant, because always we don't want to be also the one that, but be confident in ourselves, right? Persistence also, someone is
Mm-hmm.
sharing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, they never give up. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very important skill. What else can we think of? A good team player, someone who doesn't make it all about themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Okay, good, good. So, okay, let's see. Um, yeah, well, I'm from Argentina. I speak Spanish. That's my first language. And so, I was talking to some recruiters a couple of weeks ago, and so they were talking. They were talking about a job search process and no, they were referring to. Yes, I have found um, several perfilazos, and so I thought, oh, this is an interesting, it's a word that I didn't have in mind, and so I asked these recruiters, what do you mean by perfilazo? Perfilazo in Spanish is like an amazing profile. I'm an amazing candidate, like a great candidate, a candidate that has everything. So I wanted to know from them, like it's just what they meant by that. So this is what they told me. um, so uh, it's someone who through the interviewing process, so through the job search process, so through the selection process, that once you hire them, you're going to give them a direction and they are going to take ownership. They're going to, you're going to give them two indications or two pieces of information, and they are going to take on from there and just make something happen. They might make a mistake, but they are going to go and get it done. So I thought that was interesting. Well, tell me about yourself, they will be just like what you were saying, Mirta, or I don't know who, that they are confident, that they know, that they know themselves, that they have taken the time to look within and ask themselves, who am I being these days, and what do I want, and what do I bring to the table, and what am I good at, etc., etc. So then the exposure. That's how they worded it. That they will stand up there, they will speak up, they will share ideas, they will participate, they will take chances even if they make a mistake. They understand that just that's part of the deal. It's growth mindset, 100%. The people skills, everybody mentions it. You can learn anything, technologies, anything, practically, but you have to work on your communication skills, on all these 8 competencies that virtual internships has embedded into everything related to virtual internships: communication, teamwork, professionalism, etc., etc. The people who can work well with others, people who have critical skills, people who have who solve problems, and working well with others.
Someone is
Uh,
asking, how do we communicate, how do we develop communication skills, and what is it to be a good communicator, or to have like good communication skills? What does that look like in practice, and how we can develop these?
Practice, practice, practice. Do just well in university settings, or at the internship, at virtual internships, just putting yourself out there. If the for example, finding opportunities to present. If presenting is not part of a specific project, volunteering to present on something, presenting on your projects, presenting on yourself, on your experience as an intern. Yeah, when you're at school, if you're working as part of a team preparing a project, volunteering to be the one who makes the final presentation, even if you don't feel comfortable with it. What else can you think of? All the people who are
Someone is
presenting.
sharing on the chat that they use traveling as a way to put themselves out there, right? And I think that's really good, because when we may be a bit shy. Traveling is a great way when we go somewhere we don't know, and exposing ourselves to different cultures. So that initial fear of saying, shall I
Mm-hmm,
ask how? I think that's a great way. And I would add also that communicating effectively is being clear. So it is very good to know what we want to say before we actually say it. Uh, that means, for instance, if we are using a Slack chat, being concrete on what we're asking to a supervisor, right? Sending a
mm-hmm,
full message. Hi, Mariah. How are you? Hope you're having a nice day. I was looking for this information. I haven't found it. Could you please send me the right link, instead of saying hi, waiting for the supervisor to reply, hello, how are you? And then like putting the burden on the other side to, okay, what do you want to tell me, right? And
mm-hmm,
also, if with supervisors meetings, like, no, what is it that I want to say, right? Go straight to
mm-hmm,
the point. If my boss really likes, like, being effective, because sometimes we can get lost in whatever I want to say, and then we beat around the bush, and then the other person goes like, okay, but how can I help you? What do you want, right? And that can lead to some frustration. So I think clarity is also very important.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're it's all about trying. You're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna just maybe the message you want to convey is not gonna be clear the first time, but that's okay. You keep practicing, and practice makes perfect, or at least it helps you improve. So yeah. Yeah, the sponge mindset, I talk about that a lot. Just be a sponge. Like, try to these are the amazing candidates. The ones who might go to an interview, and at some point someone might the interviewer might bring in a topic that we have no idea I know what they are talking about, instead of just freezing, just, oh wow, I had never thought about that, tell me more. Oh, like, I know I have a teacher or a classmate who knows a lot about that, I'm going to be having a conversation with him or her. So yeah, we don't have to know everything, but I know we can be curious, like, so. And then energy and attitude. This is something that many recruiters told me. Uh, you know, Attitude beats everything. Every lack of whatever you have, whatever you're missing. Just let's go for it. Let's go and find out. Let's figure it out. Let's the energy that you can bring into anything you do, and it doesn't have to do with personality. It's not about being an extrovert. It's about, no, I'm an introvert, and I just, I think I want to think that I bring energy to everything I do. So it's just energy. It's for, anyone can have it. So attitude, positive attitude, and yes, and the presence, like, at the end of the day, after this interviewer has interviewed maybe, I don't know, 6 people, um, how do you end up being one of the most memorable conversations that this interviewer had? So that would be the question. um, Tapping into the everything. I sometimes speak with students who use every resource at the university. Every day they talk to staff, to teachers, to faculty, to alumni, to everybody. So use your resources. Well, then, reaching hiring managers directly. They are the ones who have the pain points. Recruiters are just, the intermediate. They are people they are the bridges, but you would be working for the hiring manager. So go try to find them. They are on LinkedIn. Everybody is on LinkedIn. Yeah, just try to be creative. Show, when you connect, try to show something about yourself. Don't just go and ask for the job. Just share something about what you would bring to the table. Career Services has lots of information and resources, and I see a lot of students who graduate without even stepping a foot into the office. So, use it. If it's there, yeah, use it. Yeah, then when you reach out to someone, they might want to help, but you need to give them, just to help you. So have questions, do the research, look at their profile, see what they could help you with, and then go and ask specific questions. Well, the virtual internships, you just reach out to everybody, not just to your supervisor. If your supervisor doesn't have they are not a fortune teller. They don't know. If you ask, would you introduce me to the rest of the team? Can I attend a meeting with a client? Just do you know someone in this industry that I could also talk to? Just go ask. um, and then, well, creative
Just for
connection.
the time, we have 5 more
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh wow, well, okay, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
going. So yeah, be visible on LinkedIn. Not I need a job, but just engaging real conversation. Share about your internship. That is content. When people say I don't know what to post about, there you have one post waiting to happen if you haven't done it yet. Yeah, and then comment on hiring. Amazing candidates comment on hiring managers posts, and I can assure you, if you comment on someone's post, people are gonna go and check you out. They are gonna see who's commenting. They are gonna ask themselves, who's commenting on my posts. So the hidden job market, it's not just, job jobs can be, found through job posts, but they also can be found through conversations with people. So go and talk to people. Many opportunities are never posted. So don't just do the application game. Just go and connect with people and follow people, and chances are you're going to find opportunities there. Um, well, the other things I know I keep seeing, the good candidates know how to translate what they have done into what the employer needs. And they empathize with the employer, and and that's the way they get their jobs. They tell me about yourself. We talked about that, and yeah, and then candidates who get offers are usually the ones who show up with lots of confidence, and then knowing that no is not the end. Keep in touch, right, to thank people for the opportunity to go to interview, to be considered. Share content, share value, share an article, mention an event. You never know, sometimes the candidate that is hired doesn't work out or leaves. You want to be the one that might be another option for them. So stay in touch. That would be the idea. So I'm gonna leave you some ideas for so that this doesn't end up being like a nice conversation with a lady who just show up on here at the webinar. So what are you gonna do after this webinar? So here are some ideas. Look at your LinkedIn profile now. What story are you telling? Reach out to someone in your network or someone who's a stranger at this very moment, and reach out, ask a question, not a let's chat, and then review your CV. Just look at the whether it's filled with tasks or it's filled with impact, and just review that. And then they have some other ideas. Find an alumni in some area of interest. Practice your tell me about yourself. Comment on hiring managers' posts. Here you have some some nice, easy to implement ideas. Basically, you don't need to be the perfect candidate. We didn't talk about the perfect candidate today. We talked about the successful candidate, and it's different, right? So you don't need to have everything that they require. You just need to show people, to give evidence to people that what it would be like to work with you. And there's many things that you can do, and so you're going to get this presentation, and I hope you will just take action on some of those, and go get them. They want you to be successful. They want to hire, they want to find you and hire you and move on. And hopefully you get some ideas today.
There are so many interesting things. As always, I would love to stay longer and ask you so many things. Time flies because it's so rich, everything you're sharing, right? I really like this idea of really showing ourselves, right? Putting ourselves out there, really working on the value we can bring, and this perspective of understanding that we all have everything to add, to share, and it's up to us to really work on making other people see this, right? Because sometimes I don't know, we believe people have superpowers and they can read all the amazing things we can do just over a CV, a resume. And sometimes it's just so limited, right? They have, as you mentioned, 6-7 seconds to take a look at that. So we need to maximize the impact we are showing, how we can present ourselves. LinkedIn is a wonderful tool, and everyone, I really recommend, I'm sharing Laura's LinkedIn on the chat. Laura is amazing. She shares tips, content. So by following her, you will already be learning. So do that. Send her a message. Remember, professional etiquette on LinkedIn is very important to send a message. And to Laura, you can say, Laura, I participated at your webinar. I really liked it. Thanks for sharing. And therefore, she will know where you're connecting from, because sometimes we add so many people to our LinkedIn profile with no personalized message, and we don't know who is this person, right? And maybe in the future, when you need something, you can ask Laura, and Laura will know, this person attended my webinar from virtual internships, and she will remember you somehow, right? So this is a good piece of advice. Implement it. And guys, I shared a survey on the chat. Make sure to complete it so we record your participation, and then you're earning points toward receiving your certificate. And once again, Laura, it was really, really nice. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you so much for for everyone who has been here and who has participated very actively on our chat.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day wherever
Bye-bye.
you are in the world. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.